Hello, this is Dr. Peter Rassicot. Welcome to Introduction to Philosophy, HUM 117AZ2, in case you're lost, or in case this is not the place you want to be. Over on my left is the goddess Sophia, and we'll be talking about her in just a little bit. Sophia is the word wisdom, and that's where we get the word philosophy. And my name is Rassicot. See it up there? The first C is pronounced like an S, Rassicot. Okay. What is philosophy? Well, it's a combination of two Greek words, phileo, which means love or devotion, and Sophia, which means wisdom, where we get the goddess Sophia. She's kind of an earthy, crunchy goddess in this day and age. Philosophers are those people that are devoted to wisdom. They seek for truth. Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. wrote, "Many people die with their music still in them. Why is that so? Too often it's because they are always getting ready to live. Before they know it, time runs out." Hoping that as you're studying philosophy with me in these next 6 weeks, that you'll begin to play your music a little bit better. You won't die with your music still in you. His son has an interesting quote that I've always liked. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. wrote, "A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions." And I think that you'll find philosophy is stretching, encouraging, analyzing many things that you probably never have looked into before, but are going to have an opportunity to in the next 6 weeks. What I'd like to do is take a look at our syllabus and hopefully make it a little bit easier for you over the next few weeks. The two people above us here are Aristotle and Plato. Aristotle is Plato's teacher. On Thursday night, by 11:59 p.m., and you don't need to wait until the last minute, you need to turn in an essay, 300 to 500 words long, and I don't count the words myself, but my computer is very good at counting them. And also, between Thursday night and Saturday night, you need to write to at least 2 students, and each essay to them should be 100 to 150 words long. You might write more if you'd like to, and that's fine, but at least 2 students. Saturday night, your second essay is due again by 11:59 p.m. And that essay is 800 to 1,000 words long. I hate to be a stickler for numbers, but most of you by now realize that 500 is not 800. So if your essay is too short, you will be graded accordingly. And I made a little note here to look at the rubric. Over on the right-hand side of your page, you'll see a rubric in all of your assignments. The one that you do for Thursday night is a little bit shorter, but the one for Saturday night says, recognize some of the major thinkers. It says examine philosophical texts. It says critical thinking. It says utilize research. It says quality and organization of writing. And that means if you turn in an essay that has spelling errors, that has grammatical errors, that has run-on sentences, all of those will cause me to grade you less. And that's because these are writing assignments. You probably have already realized that there's no oral part to this except the one that we will get to when we talk about presentation. But please look at the rubric. The next slide talks about week 2, your presentation. This is the only time you're going to have an oral assignment. It says, explain a philosophical idea developed by one of the philosophers covered in this course. My choice, and I think which is best, is PowerPoint. Others have done a video of themselves, but your voice must be heard. In other words, you need to figure out how to include your voice when you do the PowerPoint or the video presentation. What should this be about? It should be a short biography of the philosopher. It should list his or her major texts and ideas. And it should include a summary of their argument in the assigned course in this text, due by 11:59 Saturday of week 2. Now, what I'm looking for, again, as you analyze the argument, is that you clearly talk about what the philosopher is saying in the article that is already assigned to you in the syllabus. David Hume, whose picture is above me, is unfortunately not in the syllabus, but he is in our on-ground class of philosophy, if you'd like to sign up for that after this one. Next in your syllabus is the Saturday papers. I just want to underline this a little bit more. Again, 800 to 1,000 words. 3 of those are due weeks 1, 3, and 5. You cannot write your response paper and your reflection paper on the same essay. So what you write on for Thursday night is not what you can write on for Saturday night. Those need to be 2 different texts. Include a summary of the philosopher's argument. This is for Saturday's paper. Include a summary of the philosopher's argument and an assessment of what you think the philosopher has said. Now, that means more in-depth thinking than just, that was terrible, or I don't believe that for a moment. That's not going to be full enough. You need to analyze what they said and clearly explain that from your point of view. Jean-Paul and I, this is Sartre, we're going to be looking at him. He's an existentialist, and he and I are both pipe smokers. So I always like him with the pipe in the pictures of him. Next is the movie review. Week 4. Again, 800 to 1,000 word paper. Analyze and explain the philosophical ideas in the movie. Relate it to the philosophers already studied. Now, as you look at the rubrics, you'll see, am I relating this to 1 philosopher, 2 philosophers, 3 philosophers? That's going to determine whether your work is exemplary or not. In the paper, you need to show how the ideas of these philosophers are introduced in the plot. Matrix just happens to be my favorite. It's not as depressing as the others are. I'm sorry, I didn't pick these movies out, but that's the way it is. And this is the least depressing, I think, of all of them. And lastly, the final exam. St. Anselm seems to be, my head seems to be in the way here. Anyway, Final exam is 200 points. So that's good. It's not a difficult exam. Of course, it's take home, as everything is. It requires the creation and defense of a philosophical argument based on the philosophical problems we studied. Well, what are the problems we're going to study? Who are human beings? How do we know what we know? Is there a God? How do we live justly? And how do we form a just society? Now, in the last slide, I had Hoot Me, and I tried having the students last semester insert their questions into Hoot Me. Guess how well that worked? Didn't work at all, because everybody wants a personal answer, and I don't blame you. Please send me your questions to my Gmail. Of course, this is Baypath Gmail, and I'll be glad to answer you personally. And if it's a major question, I'll shoot out an email to all of you. Welcome to Introduction to Philosophy. Hope you have a wonderful time studying. Thank you.